Market open.
All right, hello. I have not been on the mic in about a week or so. Yeah, just doing stuff and taking a different approach with my learning. But regardless, let's take a quick look here. So, it is October 7th. This is Power Hour. We have 57 minutes left of this session. Huh? I'm actually gonna put on in queue. No, I'm gonna leave it on the ES. We're good here.
Welcome to Market Price open. Squawk.
So price squawk shouldn't stay on because I would imagine volume is gonna be a little lower. But okay. So we can see that we open lower. Looking at the Nasdaq, we open lower. We tried to push up and we failed the cash close. You know, I really should have this like automated, I know. Okay, 3 minutes. So again, we had our moves downwards, just like that we looked at, and then a lot of compression here. We saw this in real time. Our recording is already online and posted, but we saw like a lot of compression here for buyers. Buyers not able to really get above. We can actually scroll up. That was all this up here near these 85s. So it was like a brick wall that was happening there. And again, this is the Nasdaq though. And I was just pointing at the ES, just using it as a reference. But we ended up opening somewhere below the half point of this range. Essentially bear flagging. We broke through. And now we're just looking to see all these buyers being liquidated. I want to see. Yeah, I really can't notice it too much here on the NQ. I don't have the best settings for that. But looking at the ES, yeah, these are the buyers that I was talking about. So notice like all these motherfuckers are just sitting up here. Then as we shot down lower, a lot of liquidation, a lot of sellers, just really forcing this down for sure. And again, I'm just giving us some context because we do want to get aligned with what's going on. So we open lower, mid at the IB mid of the prior day. coiled, and then we broke this low, and we're seeing some serious continuation to the downside. Brief stops, engulf. Brief stops, engulfed. So possible that we build volume here lower as we've broken yesterday's low, which was Friday. So now we're trading into the Thursday range. So I'm recording this so we can possibly get an understanding and get some more experience of what it looks like for a potential a structured pullback play. So I mean, ideally this will be the case here. We want to see if there's going to be. Ideally, we should burst through here if this is going to be a serious area. We do have our zone down here at these low 30s. So we want to look at a 3 minute so that way we can be a bit patient. But we want to see if we can get over this 5 smoothing average and possibly have just like a small pullback. My only thought about this, and just kind of getting my thoughts out loud, we have have an hour left. And I don't have my timer going on. I start my timer, I'll just turn it off. But yeah, I would imagine this actually may be the down pullback here, but we'll see. I'm just looking at the 138 minute candles. You see we're right in the middle of that zone that I have created. It's middle of that consolidation range as well. And this is that potential support area there for the S&P 500. So again, I would imagine we may see some continuation higher. But we don't know. I may not be doing this. May not be the best idea, but since it's a little longer, that way we can get everything going. All right, let's see. So let's just do this into 5 minutes because we are a little. Now we'll do it on 3 minutes. Sorry, I don't typically trade power hour like that. I'm trying to bring in my whole process. So again, we were expecting to see some sort of a pullback here, but there was no pullback. We do have an understanding of where we are on a higher time frame. So we have another minute and a half until the end of this 5 minute candle. So we'll see where we're at. The second 5 minute candle for this power hour. So we started and we looked above the prior day's range, took that high, and we came down and took the low, all in the same candle. It's pretty interesting. Delta was extremely positive earlier at 20K, and now we are seeing the sellers really liquidating. The majority of volume was done here near these 70s to these 85s, and now we're trading 30 points lower. There may have been some kind of news catalyst, but I'm not sure from the exact top of my head. Okay. So I'm actually going to do the timer anyway. It's not going to be precise, but it's fine. I just like having it there for my tempo. Okay, so it looks like that we may be getting that impulse upwards like we were assuming. If this is truly going to be extremely bearish, then the bears are definitely going to want to step in. This would be their opportunity to sell as structure has been broken. So we'll see what happens now. Okay. So we close above the 5 smoothing average on the ES. I would imagine some sort of a pullback maybe to these 40s. Let's actually check the volume profile. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Where this guy, where this guy is kind of waving his hand down here, expecting to be able to buy. Um, that's precisely where price will make sense to go back into the middle of this structure here. So about the 40s, 39, 40s. So again, the sellers have control for the day, but the buyers have control for the highest time frame from what we see and what we know. Again, our daily there, we're trading right at yesterday's open. So again, if you can tell me that you can jump on this rally and pay Friday's open, I think that'd be a decent buying opportunity. If you look at the NQ didn't even make a new low yet. So they did, looks like they pushed that high by a few points or so. And again, we have a lot of trap longs above for sure. If they're still holding, they are sweating pretty something decent. But again, we do see some some decent selling for sure. Again, just a look from the profile there, and look at the profile for the NQ. Okay, slowing down times, 2 minutes. Sorry, time is a very important factor to read in the tape. Okay, and again, we're expecting buyers to hold. So that may have been a little bit of a pullback. So I mean, if buyers are really going to show force, they really want to kind of push in. I'm not trading this right now, but I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable. I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable with this risk on. You would want to see buyers being put to the test, them actually responding, and then once they head back near that 5 smoothing average, then I'll be looking to possibly buy. I don't imagine me doing more looking to sell near these levels here. If anything, I'll be willing to sell the overnight low, especially given the amount of longs that are stuck. I think they'll be willing to buy at 80s, 70s, and sell at the low 60s. They're not going to be willing to sell at these 50s right now. I don't really see the urgency being the case, especially since we're awaiting data Thursday and Friday and bank earnings. It's really not too much, but like geopolitical tensions as of right now. So bullish on the higher, bullish on the intermediate, even bullish on the daily. But the here and now, sellers got the motherfucking ball on their side of the court for sure. Sorry, I'm getting this done. I'm about to do a I'm about to do a sim trade. Yeah, so down a little over percent. Yeah, I would see this as a buying opportunity. So yeah, it looks like it was the just more of the geopolitical tensions and some news there. I'm taking a quick screenshot to see where we're at. Technology is, yeah, I'll be willing to buy. Ooh, yeah, maybe the S&P 500. Yeah, I think this would be considered a buy possibly. I mean, they're bull flagging pretty hard right now, but I would still want to see how they're willing to trade down here because this was unexpected. for sure. So I want to see how they respond near these lows, especially as this is an important piece in their structure. I'm sorry if we need a reminder where we are. We can just look at this 138-minute candle. So as we kind of push down a little lower to double check these 30s, the high 30s, excuse me, the low 40s rather. I want to see how they're getting, how the buyers are going to respond. But it seems like the buyers are going to try to push their way out of here now. Not really seeing too much going on at the Dom right now. I would give this maybe like a, of course, it's given. I wasn't looking at the Dom on our way down, so I would imagine that would have been like -3, -4. It definitely not a 5 because there were some nice pullbacks. But I would say that as of right now, this move upwards from what we just saw, I would give that maybe like a +2. There hasn't been any real rotations back to the downside. So yeah, I don't think now would be the best opportunity to join in. But given the amount that we've gone down and where we went down to, and the damn defense of that stand, I don't know. I think sellers may be in trouble. But again, I'm just making sure that I'm understanding my process and me just kind of thinking out loud. This is cathartic for me. But we need to see a clear change in structure or a break of structure, which we've seen now. Let me do it on here. We've pushed down and then we engulfed upwards. I will want to see some sort of a pullback. Ideally, I like to come real down close to these lows, kind of come down and shoot back up. I'll be willing to buy this here. But given the context of where we're headed, specifically this green area, this is a very important area as far as like the market profile and structure. Actually, since the Dom tape isn't really too crazy right now. Again, this is just power hour. It's the last hour. That structure. I want to see if I can pull up this structure for you. Okay. So former resistance, former resistance, former resistance, former resistance. Boom. Push up. Support.
Block buy.
Support. Support. This area is really important. I actually need to change this purple now that I'm reviewing this. So again, the fact that we came straight down to that area right before and broke structure, this makes sense. This doesn't justify a trade. This is a trade in itself for sure. Um, it's a trade for sure. This would be a little more aggressive, but this would be taking um, information risk over price risk. I'm willing to get in at a quote unquote better price with less information. The fact that we're getting more information out here, I'm willing to pay a worse price by buying here instead of buying down here, if that makes sense. So I'm just kind of taking some deep breaths and just watching price, and I understand that it may be possible that you may miss trades like these given this situation. But if we're trading the situation of how did this initiation happen, and what was the follow through of that? We need to be okay with either one, missing moves, or two, not necessarily chasing price, but when we see an attempt to close below the 5 smoothing average. This is, yeah. I mean, yeah, now we're seeing some kind of sellers kind of coming in. Not necessarily sellers coming in, but I don't know. But we essentially need to be okay with just waiting. Just wait. Yeah, of course we can like break this down to the 1 minute. When you have that engulfing here, any dip below here can be bought. But given the context of where we are and how big this sell-off was, how steep this is, there's going to be a lot of people who are holding long that are willing to get out and just kind of buying here. You can find a way to get trapped. Yeah, I can get away with this with maybe like one lot or some shit like that, maybe two, make it real quick. However, I'm working on a style that I can size up and yeah, just trade bigger, and that wouldn't be sustainable. So I just need to be okay with taking price risk, essentially. Price risk in exchange for more information. Let me make sure I add that. So yeah, as of right now, just wait. It's a possibility. Price may just keeps going up, but I did want to get this recorded because they were hitting at an important level. All right. Okay. So this is an important pivot that we're getting ready to come across. And I'm looking at the S&P 500 just because I don't know. But this pivot here is at the 51, that high. So we're about 4 ticks away. So we should see a little impulse through. I would imagine it's not going to be too much. The next high would be 58. So run into a little bit of a wall there. We didn't see any much follow through. But we have 5 seconds. And we're really getting ready to push. So in 2 seconds, we should see a burst. Because people are going to say, fuck it, I'm out. But with direction. And this backing off is fine. They just need to protect this low, which is at 40. Let's call it 46. It's really 46 half. So I mean, any kind of pullback is totally fine. Then we'll look at the NQ. So 40, 51, and 58 for the ES. And notice the structure's a little different here for the NQ. Theirs was 14. They burst through. And now they're trying to make another attempt. So the new pivot is at 20K, 21. And right there, same situation. We have 1 more minute to the end of this 5 minute candle. If you look at the 5 minute, it's probably a little more erect. No? Okay. So I mean, we really should be thrusting upwards from here. Especially because I mean, hell, we have 35 minutes left until the end of the session. So I mean, if we don't, I mean that's information in itself. Okay. 25 minutes left. So we have a 5 minute candle that was nicely bullish. And then in these last 20 seconds, we want to see how we close this candle. Because this is going to be end of this 5 minute candle. And then we have another 5 minutes until the end of this 30 minute candle. So again, with these next 5 minutes are going to be important. What kind of bat signal is going to be sent for the 30 minute participants? Okay, this is the start of the new minute candle, and it's like fucking dead. It's still dead. For us to be down here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the book is thinning a little bit. Not really much coming on with the tape. The shit is just kind of trickling in. Okay. I don't really get what's going on here. This is the same ES. This is the 30-minute candle. So yeah, I mean, if they break these next two pivot areas, 51 and 58, they'll only be 6 points away until the top of this 30-minute candle, and that's gonna be nasty. But again, we are expecting 15-minute candles here. We're still expecting that pullback. We never did come back to those low 40s. And then we'll see what we look like here on the NQ. Damn, they almost made it to their class close on Thursday. Did the ES? Yeah, the ES broke theirs for sure. Okay. So we're still at these 50s. Now remember that 30-minute bat signal is gonna be important. Because all this just may just be a pullback for the sellers. And if that's the case, we want to see how they're going to perform near those lows. And if this is really going to be a situation for the buyers, you may have enough information to possibly buy. Though you're kind of playing with fire at this point. I'm not willing to buy this shit, even on simulation. Okay, that was a reclaim for sellers for this 5 smoothing average on the NQ. And here, since then, utilities, discretionary finance. Oh yeah, everyone but tech is doing well, even discretionary. So if we see the NQ starts to lead on the DOM, then that may be a decent signal. Notice how we're both moving like in tandem right now. So if NQ can start pushing ahead of the ES, and we have all these other sectors that are doing fairly well right now, not fairly well, but all these other, since we came down from the low, the only one that's lacking right now is the technology side of things. So if we can have NQ lead us with the order flow, then I wouldn't be opposed to jumping on long for the ES, depending on how we get down to these lows. And you can even see here they're a little more upwards, a little more recurved here for the NQ. This structure is the 42s. Yeah, I want to say about the 42s. So yeah, once we break these 45s, we should crash through to the 43 halves. And we want to see how we trade really these 40s and these 41s. But again, the thing that would kind of get me, not jump the gun, but get a little bit ahead, is if NQ heads towards these 20s, while the ES is pushing through these 52s. Again, we have 40 seconds until the half-hour mark. And again, I like flipping back and forth between the different time zones, the time frames, because we're being mindful of other players. 20 seconds. I'm just getting my thought process out loud, so I'm not just quiet and thinking about this in my head. Okay. This is BD 30 minutes. So again, you should have some scalers. You should have some sellers being a little nervous. That's the half-hour mark. Now we're starting to push. But again, we want, don't get too much credit there. We're still under the 50s. We're still under the 20K mark. So just for me to follow my setup. Okay. NQ is a lot closer to their lows than Yes. We're starting to get some of that pullback. Again, we want to see how they perform near these 40s. Nothing really showing up for passives. You can see we're kind of looking. I don't want to jump in and buy this first minute because it's the first, just letting everybody get their orders in. And this is the first close under that 5 smoothing average for the ES. And immediately we're starting to lift. So that went from about a plus 1.5 to, since we came back, that went from about a +1 to a -1 pretty quickly. We just kind of, okay, we done. So it's just real control. It doesn't really seem like too much conviction from the sellers. There's no panic in here. It seems like apprehension. Again, it seems like, okay, we're a little nervous, but I wouldn't want to buy this low. Excuse me, I wouldn't want to buy this as it's falling. I really want to see how we respond. Yeah, over the next few minutes. Just now getting ready to be 2 minutes. So it's a new minute candle about now. Notice as we close that candle, we inching closer to the exit time. Nothing really special on the DOM so far. Just a reminder where we at on a daily. NQ has not broken their low from the prior day. The prior day's low is about the 43s, which they can totally break. And if they break theirs, I'm curious what will happen with the S&P 500. But we're going to trade what we see. We're near these 40s now. I don't think this would be the best to buy. And I need to give a reason. I'm still seeing technology being a bit of the laggard. They're not showing any relative strength to what has happened recently. We can also look here and see they've been doing the worst, and that's coming from Tesla, Amazon, and Nvidia, but this is very light. Finance gave up their gains. The only one doing well right now is utilities, and they're not like super weighted. We're starting to crash near these 40s, and again, remember they have the low for NQ about 25 points away, so about a good rotation away. Still not seeing anything massive show on the passive side. I like that little push down and that immediate push back up. But again, we have 10 seconds left of this minute candle. And then another minute until we have our 5-minute marker. And Q is trying to defend their lows there. Notice the little buying, the flows that kind of came in there. Possibly get in here, but it doesn't feel right with NQ really pressing. Again, we wanted to see NQ kind of beating the ES to it. Kind of like this here. But again, I'm working on not buying this low. I need to actually see the actual close, I think. I'm going to go ahead and put a passive in. I'm going to wait. Yeah. So what do we need to see? Okay, there's NQ, but it feels so weak though. It's only a couple of contracts. That's because okay, I put a passive in, I didn't get filled, I got filled. Okay, cool. So we'll be targeting the overnight low, and then we'll have the stop at the low of the day. All right. Actually, I'm just gonna have this shit at the 40. We really shouldn't come back. Yeah, I should put it at the 70, 57.40. So right below that low. And I'll be willing to add if we can once if they get above. This pivot, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is why you want to do that shit. Okay, cool. So yeah, that ended up being like a 2.5 point loss. Cool. We're waiting for information. We can't try on this leg since we ended up getting stopped out. NQ broke their lows, so we will need to see another reclaim. We need to wait till we see a reclaim. Let me straighten that out. So the NQ did not make their. They didn't hit the low from the prior day. They are almost there. Okay. So then I also need to be okay with getting stopped out and being able to get back in, but not to rush it though. So what are we seeing? That's the end of the minute counter there. This is simply possibly a pullback, retracement, we pushed up. We need to see if there's going to be like a reclaim of this 5 SMA.
Block sell.
I think it's actually SMMA, smooth and average. Yeah. See, now this is what I meant by like NQ. It's kind of beaten. So if that's what I'm seeing, then I need to just fucking buy. Okay, I put a bid in and I'm putting the stop at the same. Really that 40 level again. I don't imagine it's going back out. This gets stopped out again, then I understand. Again, I shouldn't need too much risk here. I don't imagine it's coming back a whole 12 ticks. And if it does, that's not something I want to be in anyways. Yeah. Because he never reclaimed it. That just went up to the 5 SMA. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a new low. So if I see that this is going against me, I'm just going to leave it alone. It's going to be stopped out, that's fine. We had a tighter stop for that very reason. Actually, it's 14 ticks. So this is what I need to work on. So I understand that we have some buying activity. We had our first leg up, and that broke structure. And then we have this second leg. I feel like this is not going to be the same kind of situation because of the time factor that we have with the end of the session. Hell, in 10 minutes, we got the market imbalance. So shit, who knows? But yeah, I'm just leaving this here for now. So they ended up getting in long. That was a 43 half with the stop at the 40. And again, that's not even a structure stop. That's just it shouldn't rotate that much backwards. And I'm working on being able to get back in when I am stopped out, or liquidating when I feel like the activity isn't there. NQ is not pushing as it was. Seems like ES is kind of dragging them upwards. I'm just gonna leave the stop there. Even though I feel I should liquidate. Said I'm just ordering it here on the dime. This has been the only activity I've done. But I mean, I'm just leaving it in there because I saw whatever I saw. But I feel like it's not the same situation now because the NQ is leading us down now. And I feel like that's new information. Yeah, so I'm stopped out there. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is gonna be good for me to review. And then also taking those kind of filler trades, I feel like it messes with my objectivity a little bit. Okay, so we have one leg up. And I shouldn't be looking at this from the buyer standpoint in a way. So I think I'm using a concept that works given the time frame of the first 2 hours, not the last hour. And I'm more thinking about the different legs. Because I'm looking at this from the buyer perspective when this has been all sellers all day. But we had our one leg up, which is breaks your structure. We're coming back down to this area that's going to be interesting to test. I know I should have just had my stop at the low of the day, just in general. Just in hindsight, but I feel like that was too early of a buy. This will be more of that pullback that I will be looking for. But again, technology is still leading us downwards. And now ES is a bit weaker here. And I have not seen anything on the order book that says now would be a decent time to buy. But while I was in a trade, I made several comments about wanting to sell. So I think that was information in itself. Okay, that's good information.
Block sell.
So that was a new low for NQ. ES is still not broken their lows. Okay. And I'm trying this one last time. I put a bid in. Okay, I had to change my price. I'm putting my stop at the low of day and putting it at 34. And this fill is, I think this is just essentially just 3,700. I'm sorry, 57.39. Sorry, I haven't done much with my dime here. I typically order from like the chart. So again, I'm targeting near these overnight lows. I'll fix that shortly. I need to put the, and then the high. Okay. Try this again. So wholeheartedly, I understand that this can come back, and I'm perfectly okay with that. This would be a 10-point risk. We'll be targeting the structure of the overnight low, ideally. With the possibility to head back to the midpoint, if not the open. We're willing to wish the low of day. Ideally, it should have been 3 contracts to get us back above this structure here. And I only have 2. And that is just fine. So we're gonna rework this. I picked the wrong one. Oh shit, I'm tripping. I can just do chart trade. Okay, much better. Sorry, I have a different instance that I use for my orders. Okay, so I still haven't seen much on the dime, but there still feels like really sluggish. This is not a comfortable buy at all for the buyers. I think it just makes sense to not even look for it. I would imagine you have to see like a new low, to be honest. But I'm not gonna keep sitting here trying this, even though this is sim. I'm trying to trade it as I would do in real time on my live account. I've just been off the past week and a half. Just kind of take some time and really focus on the variables that I need to enter the trade. And again, it may sound like a broken record, but where I'm at now is actually understanding what we're looking for, the time that it's most likely to happen, and what will tell us that we're correct, and what will tell us that we're incorrect. This play is off peak hours. This is against the daily trend, which is going to have the most immediate impact on us. Even the order flow is struggling to push up and sliding back down easily. So again, we got in right at the 3,900, excuse me, the 57.39. And the reason that we got in there, this was the response as a potential hold near that LOD. That too, the NQ was starting to push a little quicker than the ES to the upside. I do respect the fact that the NQ has not tested their prior LOD, and this may be a bit of a front run in what we're doing. Let me even this out. Yeah, you have people really hammering down on the bid. You can see just like the flow of the order just coming in really rapid. Now, just like the way it was pushing in for the buyers, and that feels like aggro. Shit, my other order. I'm about one more. Oh no. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, so if we get stopped out, that's fine. Cause I did want to get that third order. Okay. So we'll just leave these here. So 1, 2, and really the high, which is really the rule. But we just do the initial bounce. No, let's do the high. That's my rule. Okay, I wasn't looking at the dime, but I mean, it looks like it was just pretty chill. I didn't hear any big orders come in. So again, we're seeing like that more algorithmic, super quick flurry. And again, it takes us a little work for us to go up. And once we do find our way up, we slide back down with ease.
Block sell.
And the buyers are hoping that they can get a reclaim of the, fuck it, because we know where we're at now. Just might as well. Even though this is gonna make it look like, I'm ready for this shit to go up. Hell no, this shit is going down. Now I do notice that. Notice how that 100 lot pushed down. It's and that shit got pushed all the way back up with ease. That's what I was talking about, like the whole algorithm. But yeah, and this is the last 10 minutes, is that market imbalance. But the fact that that pushed down like this and came back up, I don't know, man. I think that was pretty interesting. Interesting defense. And again, this is that last minute that I was talking about, the close above. Looks like we found some sellers there. Another 15 seconds. I need to possibly use the imbalance as part of my entry as well. That'll save some of my mental capital. Okay, no, this is working out as bad as expected. Okay, that's the minute, but now what? You should have some people getting ready to possibly liquidate because they're saying, oh, hell no, fuck this, I'm out. Break this down to 15 minute. This is where all those sellers were in this area, and this is the 54s. So if we can bust through this 51, excuse me, if price burst through the 51, 52, I would imagine you may have some sellers willing to liquidate fairly quickly. And not only that, but not be as easy to take on risk. I'm gonna go ahead and actually take out one of these because that was too close. Alright, I got out of one of those. I'm gonna move this at put those to break even. Sorry, I normally do the micros, so my settings aren't right. Why is this shit not? Oh, because it's doing the okay, the break even for each order, not my average price. My bad. That's just me, not. That's just me. Don't mind me. Okay, focus. So again, they were able to push through fairly easily. And the E's are sliding back down. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I always like catching the last minute of the market session. The last 2-3 minutes is always really cool to see the big orders flying in. It sounds silly as hell on the on Price Squad. It makes me chuckle. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone. Wait, what? Alright, I'll look at that later. Okay, so guess what? We are back at these 20s, and we're back at these 51s. So again, like I said earlier, if they can burst through these 51s, 52s, why the NQ is bursting through these 20s, these sellers are going to be in the motherfucking, they're going to have some problems. But again, this would be a very good point for the sellers to really kind of stand in. This is going to be their line in the sand for both. Let's call it these 54s and these early 20s. But we're running out of time. And when you run out of time, that means urgency. When you have urgency, you should see this shit on the dome. So mainly look at the way these orders are kind of flowing in. Look at the buyers on the NQ. And then when we're seeing these flurries, how easy is it for them to push price up? Or are we like spooling up into the what, like 700-800s for the NQ? I mean for the ES, and then 200 or so, kind of really spooling up here like this. So yeah, there we go. Exactly. Yeah, because people are gonna get tired of this. If you have people like really just hitting the ass, not hitting this bid, they're really just gonna just break through this shit pretty quickly. Okay, we had 8 seconds. But again, buyers can give this up. You don't want to look into this. Jesus. Okay, so we got 5 minutes left. Again, I always like looking at this. The last 5 minutes. It's really cool. I still think the overnight low is is possible, but given to what we're seeing, maybe that's not the case. I wouldn't even say that we really ran into a wall. It just seems like there's not really people supporting the bid right now. You need to think about who's selling. Is it new money shorts, or are these those longs? that are selling at lower prices. Do remember the delta? Yeah, the delta was like 20K max earlier. So we're sitting at 77 right now. So we'll see where we end. I think it's gonna be pretty cool to see. Look at this big ass engulfing candle. 4 minutes left. And these are those 40s that we were looking at earlier. It's a high possibility that they make this low. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 10 more seconds. Man, these buyers finna fuck around and find out. And if the NQ does break their low, do remember they have yesterday's low right next to them. Ah, they may get bailed out. Which knows how easily we're kind of moving up. There we go. We're starting to see some more rotation back to the downside. So sellers are gonna stay on this. I mean, this shit can be easily retraced. I wouldn't be surprised if this sell candle gets engulfed as a reversal. But again, we have 3 minutes left, so I mean, really anything can happen. It really depends on who decides to hold, what order still needs to be filled. But I mean, the fact that we're this close to this low, if it's a lot of orders and buyers are still holding, man, hey, this shit can get bad. I done seen it happen before. We got 15 seconds. And then as we kind of run out of time, you're going to see more buyers kind of be afraid to stand on the bid. So they're kind of going to step out of the way and be like, fuck this. Like, I'm not finna buy this. All right, 2 minutes left. So we should see an increase here. But no, why not though? It's like they're waiting for something. I swear sellers are waiting to like just really step on the gas again. That's what it feels like. Yeah, there's no real bids here. They're just kind of just slicing through. And you got some offers starting to step in now. You're stepping out of the way. And we got 20 seconds left, so you're really finna see some orders. Yo, if NQ breaks this low, that's gonna be bad. But I don't think it's gonna happen. We got 10 seconds left. This may be something that happens in like the overnight. Of course. Alright, 3 seconds left. They trying to support the bid now. Yeah. And we should also see some of these shorts that need to liquidate as well. It's going to be a lot of business that's going to happen at the last 30 seconds, last 20 seconds. It should start picking up in about 5 seconds. So notice they're spooling up at like 600 here. They should start getting to like 1,000 soon.
Block sell.
Yeah, we may just end here near these 40s.
Block buy.
Yeah, all these people need to buy. They're going to be forced. They may.
Block sell.
Hold on. 10
Block
seconds.
buy.
Yeah, that's just.
Block sell.
Looks like they may squeeze
Block
up.
buy. Block buy. Block buy. Block sell. Block sell. Block buy. Block buy. Block buy. Block.
Alright, that's it there. And I don't think there was any kind of like earnings or anything, at least for today. Shouldn't be any kind of news.
Block buy.
Alright, I just flatten out the rest of that.
Block buy.
Yeah, I have to kind of take some notes to see how I finished that one. But alright, I mean, that's pretty much it. Looks like they're starting to squeeze up a little bit, but we'll see how long that lasts. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and drop this off. You can see where we finish for the day. Looking at the daily candles. I just want to kind of get my thoughts out while I watch this. I have to go back and kind of clean up some of my rhetoric and some of the nuances that I'm observing. But all right, I'll catch y'all later for this the daily recap.